Let's see how this works out. Let me kill the TV. This is a pin bank out of a Wurlitzer 2104. And if you see, you have, for example, D, A2, B2, C2, D2. And the way it works is every one of these pins is associated with selection. So how do you pick the various pins? So if we pull off this portion, we've got this rotating disc. And the way the rotating disc works is it has a hammer that hits it. It has 20 of these. They correspond with the 20 letters that you could potentially select. And each letter has got the potential of 4. So this one might hit this one, this one, this one, or that one, A, B, C, and D. So this will be the numbers here. And what this does is this determines the letter. And this whole rotating assembly rotates. So it's set up in such a way that if this is an A, we're here. If it's a B, it moves a little more. If it's a C, it moves a little more. If it's a D, it moves a little more. So that's the problem. Now, this particular machine, I'll tell you what the problem was afterwards. But let me put this cap back on. Put the top back on. Let's go. And I'll put a quick screw in there so things don't fall apart. Come on. Okay. Now, how they do the various, the 4 different selections is kind of interesting. If I flip this guy over and look at the bottom, this is the bottom side of the disc, which you can see I can move, right? And it's basically, this is the rest position. Comes here and stops in that position. And when that happens, all of the little hammers, which I don't think we can see, are lined up with the A's, as you can see down here. Right? So when I push a button in, I push an A pin out, as I do over there. So that's an A pin. Now, how do you get from an A to B to D to C? At the end of the selection cycle, this guy pulls in, rotating the disc, which puts you in the D position. So I go from A to D. Now, in this string as well are 2 relays. This is the B relay. This is the C relay. So if I want an A, it stays here. If I want a B, this relay closes and stops it after that much revolution. And if it's a C, it's allowed, and if it's a C, it gets that much revolution. And then if it's a D, it goes all the way. So basically how it works is A does nothing. It just pushes the pin. B closes this solenoid to stop it at the B stop. C stops it at this stop. And D basically sends it on, it fires the solenoid, but doesn't have a stop. And as we go along, you can see, the various pins being pushed out. So I go in and I go B, I line this guy up with the B, then I slam the 3, and I get the B3 selection. In this particular case, what happened was somehow this spring was missing. And when somebody moved the coil here, it just didn't return. It didn't have this return action. So it was just totally arbitrary. It would never go back to the A. So if you picked a D, it would sit there and every selection would be a D. And then finally, at some point, one of these plunges manages to go between the pins. And at that point, you jam this mechanism, you have to disassemble it. So that's how it works. As an interesting point, the 5-play version of this mechanism, this is a 4-play, 4 letters. The 5-play has the center position being 3, if you will. Then I have a 2 and a 1 stop on either side, much like I do here. And then finally, there is a 200 selection that in fact has 10 different stops. And the way that works a little bit different, because rather than these solenoids, there are actually, on the opposite side, 10 little solenoids, each of which pops up a blade. So if you hit G, for example, the nth blade would pop up, the entire thing would rotate till it hit, and then it would back off a little. So in that case, you're using one hammer to hit potentially 10 pins. This one has 4, so they did the 4, the 5, and the 10.